This is Andy with QualityStocks. Today is Monday, May 3rd, 2010, and we're going to take a look at EDWY Corp. It's a pink sheet stock trading under the ticker EDWY. A couple things to note about this overall chart. First and foremost, what we're always looking for is positive divergence with the MACD and the PPS, which the MACD is trending up while the PPS has been trending down. It's good for a long-term reversal. Second thing we notice is that there's a pinch starting to come into play. I always go back and look historically how it responds to pinch, and we'll see here, we'll put a line through the pinch at its highest point, and notice that it made a pretty nice move, not necessarily from the 0.195, but from up here just over 2 up to I think that's around 4 at its highest point. So it didn't sustain the pinch, but it did make a nice move off of it, so we'll be looking for that again. MFIs, now the 7 is moving a little bit faster than I like to see it go. I like to see these 3 kind of run together, but this still is, the separation is not that great that there's a possibility this has another day or 2 in it, and we'll see how it makes the 14 and 21 turn. Wouldn't be a huge surprise if this pulled back a little bit while it maintained that base. We're going to look for some things like the accumulation distribution, which has been in a pretty solid downtrend, to actually try and start to turn this into some kind of an uptrend. We want to see it make that move, and we'll go through roughly the same time frame. See it try and make a move and break back up through this and turn this into some sort of an uptrending accumulation distribution. The Chaikin money flow just a little bit below 0. We want to see this, of course, get back up into the green, something it's not done a great deal of maintaining, but it's been a pretty steady downtrend for the last 6 months. CCI holding over -100 is a good sign. We want to see it stay up there. Full Stow has been riding this bottom a lot. It's right down there again. We'll want to see this, hold this bottom, of course, right there, and start to make a turn, give this some strength. Same way with the tricks, we're getting a little bit of separation. You can see it can travel that way for a long time, but it trended sideways for a couple months, about 3 months. Tried once to make a little bit of an uptrend right here. Tried once before to make a little bit of an uptrend. We want to see this turn and make another attempt at turning it into an uptrending tricks. Important things to note here about the candles. The RSIs are in a great position. A little bit of an uptrend altogether right around 30. They're in a good position to make a stronger move. The thing that jumps out at me when I look at EDWYs is that it held a base, back at the beginning of the year. And fell through. Then it came back again, established a base, and it fell through. What's important here is for this to finally hold the base right down here at 0.045 and make a move off of it this time. I want to see it hold this bottom support level. It's not a bad position to be in this at this point. If it breaks through, then you're looking again for it to drop lower and try and establish another base. But from this point, from a technical standpoint, it's a good entry point to see if this is going to make a move. Now, if it does hold this base, first place we're looking for is just to make this move through this resistance that's been set up right here in the area of 0.058,596, right through there. You can see that whole area right through there has been a tough point for it. It was a slight support level that it fell through, and of course now it's setting itself up as a resistance level. So we'll want to see this hold this base, make a move and come up and come through it, then hold this as a support level. It'll be a good indication this maybe has found a true bottom off of 0.045. The moving averages, short terms, 5, 10, are curling back up underneath it, which is of course going to happen. It happened here. with every time it made its base, the moving averages looked like they were going to try and give it some support, but it fell through. It's had a very tough time with this 20-day. You can see it's challenged it many times, but can't hold above it. We're going to look for this again to try and make a move. Now it's got it's very significant gains if it actually goes from here up into that 20-day, which is up around 0.008. So you're looking at substantial gains if it goes up and challenges it again. But we want to see it get through it this time and hold above it. Then hold this as a support level if it wants to dip back down. If that's the case, the lower indicators that are a little bit mixed right now will develop some strong uptrends. It'll move off of that pinch nicely. We'll see the PPO chart trending towards 0. But we'll see this MACD make a stronger move and confirm some positive divergence with the break. We want to see the actual MACD break through 0. The histogram is trying to. We're just getting ready to see a little cross. We'll want to see this MACD make its break through 0. So this could hold this base. Here it did it for a month and a half. It's about the same time frame here, month and a half, 2 months. So this still could have a substantial amount of time at trying to trend sideways. And we'll see what happens with those indicators. Like I say, it's important that it holds this 0.045. These RSIs will get some strength and try and make a move through 50, which again you can see has been a tough position for it, a tough area for it to break through that barrier. But they're in a nice position right now to try and make a move that way. So let's look for a couple of these things to happen over the next couple weeks and see what EDWY does. This is Andy with QualityStocks taking a look at EDWY.